There is a quiet truth about dementia that almost no family is told. By the time a doctor finally says the word out loud, by the time the official diagnosis comes, the disease has often been living inside your loved one's brain for 10 years, sometimes longer. 10 years of tiny changes, 10 years of small moments your family probably noticed, shrugged off, and forgot. And tonight, I'm going to walk you through the 7 silent signs of dementia that appear up to a decade before anyone gets a diagnosis. Signs that are hiding in plain sight in homes all around the world right now. Signs that, if you catch them early, can give your family something more precious than gold: time. So please, stay with me until the end, because sign number 7 is the one almost every family misses, and it's the one that breaks my heart the most. Before we begin, I need you to understand something important. Not every memory slip is dementia. Forgetting where you put the keys is normal. Walking into a room and forgetting why is normal. Even mixing up the names of your children sometimes, that can be normal. The signs I'm about to share with you are different. They are subtle, they are gradual, and they don't happen once. They form a pattern. A pattern that, when you see it, you cannot unsee it. So, as I go through each one, I want you to think carefully. Think about your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, and ask yourself gently, have I seen this before? Sign number 1: losing the thread of a conversation. This is one of the earliest signs, and it's one of the most overlooked. Your loved one is talking, telling a story, and suddenly they pause. They lose the word they wanted. They say, "What do you call that thing?" Or they switch topics mid sentence and never come back. At first, it feels like normal aging. Everyone forgets a word now and then. But here's the difference. With dementia, this doesn't happen once a week. It happens many times in one conversation. And the words they lose are not unusual words. They are simple words: cup, door, sister. The brain is starting to misfile language. And here's the part most families miss completely. When this happens, your loved one often gets quiet. They stop telling stories. They stop joining in at family dinners. Not because they are tired, not because they are bored, but because they are afraid of being caught, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of you noticing. So they go silent. And families assume, oh, mom is just tired these days. No, mom is hiding. Sign number 2: losing interest in things they used to love. Your father used to spend every Sunday in the garden. Now the garden is overgrown. Your mother used to call you every single weekend. Now you call her and she says she'll call back and she doesn't. Your grandfather used to read the newspaper cover to cover every morning. Now the newspaper sits on the table, untouched. This is called apathy. And it is one of the earliest, most reliable warning signs of cognitive decline. The brain regions that drive motivation, planning, and pleasure are some of the first to be affected. So your loved one isn't being lazy. They aren't depressed in the normal sense. They are losing the spark that connects them to the things they used to love. And here is what makes it so cruel. Most families say, oh, they're just slowing down, it's their age. But there is a difference between slowing down and going dim. Slowing down means doing things more carefully. Going dim means stopping altogether. Watch for it. Sign number 3: strange changes in personality. The kind, gentle mother who suddenly becomes irritable. The patient father who suddenly becomes suspicious. The cheerful grandmother who suddenly becomes withdrawn. Personality changes in older adults are almost never random. They are often the brain whispering, something is wrong. In the very early stages of dementia, the parts of the brain that control emotional regulation and social judgment can be affected long before memory itself, years before. So you might notice your loved one becoming more anxious, more fearful, more accusing. They might say things like, someone moved my things, or I think the neighbor is watching me. Or they might become unusually quiet, almost like they are receding into themselves. If the person you have known your whole life is suddenly becoming someone you don't recognize, even just slightly, please don't dismiss it as old age. The brain is talking to you. Listen. Sign number 4: trouble with money. This one is so important, and so few families notice it in time. Long before memory loss becomes obvious, the brain begins to struggle with numbers, with organizing, with planning. So your loved one might start making strange financial mistakes, forgetting to pay bills they have paid for 40 years, paying the same bill twice, falling for scams they would have laughed at 5 years ago, sending money to strangers on the phone, tipping $50 on a $5 coffee, or on the other end, becoming obsessively worried about money when they have plenty, hoarding cash, hiding it in strange places, forgetting where they hid it. This isn't carelessness. It isn't bad judgment. It is the early breakdown of the brain's executive function. And it is a very, very strong predictor of dementia, sometimes appearing 6 to 8 years before any memory diagnosis. If you have access to your parents' finances, even just a glance, please look. Look gently, look kindly. But look, sign number 5, getting lost in familiar places. Not lost in a new city, not lost on holiday, lost on the way home from the same grocery store they have been visiting for 30 years, lost in their own neighborhood, lost in the hallway of their own house. This is one of the most heartbreaking and one of the clearest early signs. The brain has a built-in GPS, a region called the entorhinal cortex, and it is one of the very first places dementia attacks. Years before memory loss becomes visible, the spatial map starts to fade. So your loved one might pull out of a familiar parking lot and suddenly not know which way to turn. They might come home from a walk 20 minutes late, looking shaken. They might say, I just got turned around. Once, maybe twice. We forgive it. But it isn't getting turned around. It is the map of their world quietly disappearing. If this has happened to your loved one, please do not wait. This sign alone is enough to ask for a cognitive assessment. Sign number 6, sleep that doesn't refresh anymore. This is the most overlooked sign on this entire list. Long, long before memory loss begins, the brain's sleep architecture changes. Your loved one might start sleeping more, but waking up tired, or sleeping less, waking up at 3 in the morning, wandering the house, or having vivid, disturbing dreams. Or most importantly, acting out their dreams, punching, kicking, shouting in their sleep. This is called REM sleep behavior disorder, and it is one of the strongest early predictors of certain types of dementia, particularly Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's-related dementia. Studies have shown it can appear 10, 15, even 20 years before any memory symptoms. 20 years. So if your father shouts in his sleep, if your mother has started having terrible nightmares, if your grandparent wakes up exhausted every single day, don't ignore it. Sleep is not just sleep. Sleep is the brain cleaning itself. And when sleep breaks down, it is often the first warning that the brain is in trouble. And now, sign number 7, the one almost every family misses, the loss of the sense of smell. Yes, smell. Long before memory fades, long before personality changes, long before anything else on this list, the part of the brain that processes smell begins to weaken. It is called the olfactory bulb, and it sits right next to some of the very first regions affected by Alzheimer's disease. So your loved one might stop noticing the smell of their morning coffee. They might not realize the milk has gone bad. They might add too much salt, too much spice, complaining the food has no flavor when really they have lost the ability to smell it. Doctors have done studies where they ask older adults to identify simple smells: coffee, lemon, soap, cinnamon. The ones who struggle the most are dramatically more likely to develop dementia in the years that follow. And almost no family ever notices this sign because we don't think about smell. We don't ask, Mom, can you smell this? But maybe tonight you should. Open the spice cabinet, pick something obvious, cinnamon, vanilla, coffee, and just gently ask without making a big deal of it. Because if their answer is, I can't really smell anything anymore, that is one of the most important pieces of information your family will ever have. So, 7 signs: conversation breakdown, loss of interest, personality changes, trouble with money, getting lost in familiar places, disturbed sleep, loss of smell. If you are watching this and you have just realized that 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 of these match your loved one, I want you to take a breath. I know your heart is racing. I know your stomach just dropped. I have been there. Most of us have. But here is what I need you to hear. You are not too late. You are early. And being early is everything. Earlier diagnosis means earlier treatment, more clinical trial options, more time to plan, more time to talk, more time to say the things that matter. Families who catch dementia in this whisper stage live a completely different journey than families who catch it after the storm has already arrived. So, here is what to do tonight. Take out a piece of paper. Write down the signs you have noticed. Just the ones. Don't analyze. Don't catastrophize. Just write. Then, this week, not next month, this week, call your loved one's doctor and ask for a cognitive assessment. Use those exact words. Cognitive assessment. Bring your list. The doctor needs your eyes because they only see your parent for 15 minutes once a year. You see them for a lifetime. You are the most important witness they will ever have. And before you go, I want to leave you with this. The fact that you watched this entire video, the fact that you cared enough to learn, the fact that you are sitting there right now thinking about your loved one, that already makes you the kind of family member who changes outcomes. So please take it seriously, but also take it gently. Your parent is still your parent. Today, tomorrow, next year. Love them loudly while you can. Make the memories now, take the photos now, have the conversations now, because the best time to begin is always today. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Silver Mind Explained. Next, I'm sharing the 1-minute memory test that doctors actually use to detect early dementia, a test you can quietly try at home tonight. I'll see you there.